Well, as usual, here I am wearing the headphones because, as some people know, with my hard hearing, with my being hard of hearing, it is better to have headphones on. But there's some young people here who think they know a lot, but who concede, obviously, that they don't know where I get my information. And I just as soon not explain to them that if you look at a graphic description of my hearing, what I hear, to one extent or another, the profile would not match their own. And if something is made to fit my profile, it would not fit their profile, and thus there would be, let's just say, some confusion about possibilities. Of course, that begs the question of whether I know anything or not. And certainly I bring to the table things they've never heard of, but then others bring to the table what they have in terms of latest information, and some of it's not exactly what I like, but I know why they take the trouble. I don't think that the ones around here will ever really overcome their arrogance unless they leave Aniana for a place where arrogance is dealt with, and that would be beyond Alabama. There's a kind of parallel universe in Alabama, and I think they're okay with that, But I watch them and I hear others, struggle with the idea, well, okay, he can't possibly know whereof he speaks, so how does he get this or that information? How did he ever know that? Is what is now said only a part of the story in terms of what was said long ago? Well, I needn't comment on any of that. And I've said recently, I just don't want to try to defend anything. No opinion of mine is worth defending. But it is something to see. Every now and then there'll be something in the media that reflects some sort of consternation about, I think, that English banker's son wrote about some of that in rather exaggerated terms. But, they'll never know. But they try to prove to themselves that they can eliminate possibilities by playing cheap tricks. And, they eliminated a lot of possibilities, but they don't even know what they are. If they want to come across as obnoxious, they'll find that people notice that in the long run. They won't necessarily be entirely satisfied. I guess it's still possible, but it's sort of unlikely. From what I've seen, they don't aspire to much more than having babies or something of that sort. Kind of goes with the territories. Of course, I lament the fact that a lot of girls don't want to have families. Or if they have families, they have in mind, a two-income family so that they can afford to hire someone to take the place of either or both with the kids. To do that, I would guess each one would have to make at least $250,000, and then it still wouldn't be as good as the parents are, but for the fact that they make themselves scarce for all the wrong reasons. So when I say these people only want, to what? What comes natural or what? I don't mean to suggest that getting a good education, one thing or another, is bad. What I think is bad is if people are determined to have a two-income family hauling down enough to hire somebody that makes as much as half of each of them, so that they're making $250,000 apiece, so they can hire somebody at 150 who could count to 10 to take care of the kids. That's just how gullible people are. Yes, indeed. I'm convinced they're that gullible. I've seen the results. That's not the only thing I can complain about. But, of course, what you've done to me is, I think, kind of a function of being gullible. As though some people reached some conclusions that were never tested prior to their implementation, and how stupid can you get? Huh? The results are obvious.